previous interview, I heard you say, in the beginning, painting was a catalyst for making me feel powerful again after a painful experience. What was that painful experience?
So many. So many. I think the first moment of vulnerability in my life was when I lost my mother. I was 16, she had breast cancer, and it was a very slow and uncomfortable experience to witness, you know what I'm saying? And I think during the last few moments, those were the hardest, because that's when she was the weakest, you know what I mean? And my mom was always like hella strong, hella sassy, hella confident. So to see her in that moment, I think that kind of started a little bit of like a pessimistic maybe outlook on life for me. So like from that, you know, situations that maybe weren't that big of a deal, like all different types of forms of rejection, you know, not getting a job or relationships not working out or just feeling less than, you know what I'm saying? I think I would kind of amplify that sometimes.
Because of that experience?
Potentially, you know? I wouldn't blame it on that. I just think that was like, that's kind of like my brain turned on and I started like remembering pain, if you will, you know? So I think art was kind of like the way to flip that, you know what I'm saying? Like I could take something that hurt and blast it and be like, nigga, I'm him, you know what I mean? Like we're all him, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was my way to just really flip situations for sure.
So your mother dying, right? At a young age, that's very traumatic.
Right.
At what time of your life, obviously you never stop dealing with stuff, right?
For sure.
But at what time in your life were you able to start processing it?
I didn't even really acknowledge it for the first like 2 years. I basically like ignored like it didn't happen, you know. Then I lost my grandmother, so it was like a compound the year after, you know what I'm saying? So
You
like
used to chill at your grandmother's house, right?
You said what?
That's where you used to hang out at your grandmother's
Yeah,
house?
yep, same grandmother, yep. And yeah, she was the matriarch for sure. And I remember at her funeral, that's when I actually was able to grieve for both of them at the same time, for the first time ever. But yeah, I think it was just, as painful as that moment was, I feel like it just made me more like conscious, if you will. I think before that time, life wasn't really a real thing to me. It was just like, we're just la-di-da, I'm him, you're her, color, go to work, that's it. And I was like, oh no, like this is for real. Everything counts. And I think that's when I just started like really receiving the world more like intensely, you know? So.
It gave you more of a more acceptance of the reality of the world in which we live and the reality of life.
100%.
Do you ever find yourself, how would I say this? With the death thing, right? Sometimes people go through a time where they really cherish life. Have you ever experienced you cherishing life declining and you have to remind yourself of that experience to kind of embrace life again?
I think that's basically where I'm at right now. For some reason, death feels very, very like tangible to me. You know what I'm saying? Maybe because of what we're seeing all over the news, maybe because of what we're seeing in real life. And yeah, in those moments, I do have to remind myself, like, I think even though we're all, you know, destined to reach that point, there is so much unexplainable beauty, like, everywhere, at every second of every day. It's just as much positive as it is negative, you know? I think I try to just stay a little balanced with both, you know?
I know I see beauty in certain things. What are the things you see beauty in?
I mean, the easiest one is nature. Watching plants grow is like watching like an alien come out of the earth, you know, like the most abstract science fiction novel, you know, that's how I really look at it. Or on the way over here, I was thinking about octopi. It's my most feared thought. Even just seeing one right now, I would squirm, you know. And literally while I was driving to this interview, I was just thinking, like, I bet it's beautiful, like, when they're in their habitat and the sun's shining through and they're, you know, purple and green and turquoise and doing all this camouflage stuff. and I don't know, they catch a shrimp or something. Like watching that like ballet is probably like how do you even come up with that, you know? So I think this blue rug is looking beautiful right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's beauty everywhere, to be honest. So.